shredded cheddar drawer is Business Pants. And on today's location track North Face called June 1st, 2023, we are playing the good bad game.
Without Damien.
No Damien. It's just us. It's the good and the bad game where I pick good and bad headlines and you rate them. We're going to see how... Yeah.
I feel like my scores are going to be flipped from what you thought.
That is the goal. I want to see how badly or goodly you actually think my goodlies and badlies are.
Let's do it.
Nobody cares
We're
about
going to be
this at
wrong
all.
anyways, but...
Yeah, for once you're correct. All
Wow,
right.
how did you get a point already?
Here's the way the game works, or the games. I'm choosing headlines. And this is a game that was designed for Damien's mom because he said he's too negative. Which, does anybody disagree that Damien's too negative?
Damien, man.
100%.
Makes
Always.
you want to go back to bed sometimes.
Oh wait, that's what we think about our co-founder. So I pulled the headlines, and for the bad part of the game, you're going to say on a 0 to 10 scale how bad it is. 10 being the baddest, 0 being the goodest, and then the good game, you're going to look at just the headline, and you're going to say on a 0 to 10 scale how good it is.
All right.
So, you ready to play?
We can do this.
All right, let's start with the bad game. But bad will make you feel terrible. AI chatbot will replace human helpline workers at the National Eating Disorder Association.
Oh.
This is a real thing. This is what's happening. The
no.
National Eating Disorder Association has disbanded its entire staff of helpline workers and will replace them with an AI chatbot called Tessa starting on June 1st. The decision comes on the heels of the staff's decision to unionize after a slew of pandemic-era calls led to mass staff burnout.
What is this? Who runs this hotline?
The National Eating Disorder Association, which apparently is now an AI chatbot.
This is a 10 for me.
This is a-
bad.
Right.
This is a 10 bad. 10 is now bad.
You know, I
bad.
thought this was great until you got to who's doing it. Because if it was, I don't know, Delta, they're already so unhelpful that an AI chatbot wouldn't be worse. But this is real bad. 10.
Wow. Nailing out of the gate 10 and 10. And I did make a note to myself that nothing says fixing an eating disorder like talking to a fake human, because the real humans wanted living wages so they could avoid being depressed and maybe getting an eating disorder as a result.
I wonder what they're going to use all these savings for.
Not people. So, all right. We're off to a good start. 10 and 10. Here's the next bad game headline.
All right.
Ready.
Are you ready to be depressed?
Yeah.
Nearly 3 in 5 U.S. adults are lonely,
Oh.
and it could be one of the biggest under-the-radar issues the economy is facing.
Oh,
The
from an economy
is
perspective.
facing.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Send AI chatbots to their house to keep them company?
It says the loneliness could be costing the U.S. economy a whopping $406 billion annually.
I don't even know how to rate this
Come-
because I guess I have to give it a 10 because I'm so sad that
Yeah.
the reason we care about loneliness is not for our mental health
Why else would we
or
care?
Wow.
our wellness, but
No,
it's for
money.
our economy.
Of course.
I don't like this headline. It
That-
sucks.
That's the
Wow.
only way to frame things that you want other people to care about.
Well, actually, my note here was the only way to talk about things that suck is how much they cost.
Correct.
So, Ari, what's your score here?
I'm going to give this a 6.
Oh, so not the worst.
Wait, I don't know how to do this.
You
Like,
weren't
this
really
is bad.
So
off. This is
slightly bad.
in my head.
That well,
I think the headline, I think that's a good headline. So I'm going to go with a 2.
wow. All right, Ari goes with the 2. I like that. Ari,
Yeah.
which is that she needs to have everything framed in how much it costs.
No, I think that's the only way to grab other people. I will care if you are lonely You incel that you're listening to
Wow,
us right now.
incels. You're talking to incels?
You know they're lonely. That's why they're incels.
I can't believe what just
Next,
happened.
we need to go.
Next week, you need to go to the move along. All right. Next up, Minnesota governor, Minnesota
Uh-huh.
vetoes Minnesota, not Montana.
Oh.
Not Montana. You
Okay.
thought
Thank God.
Montana.
Yep.
It's not Montana. Minnesota governor vetoes pay raise for drivers after Uber and Lyft threaten price hikes. So, days after Minnesota Uber and Lyft drivers celebrated the passing of rideshare legislation in Minnesota House and Senate that would have increased their pay and protections, the governor vetoed the bill
Why?
because Uber and Lyft threatened to pull out entirely from Minnesota or spike their cost by up to 50%.
What?
Yep, that's
What?
correct.
What is this governor doing?
I don't know,
Oh.
but is it good or is it?
No, this is terrible because it just highlights the terrible infrastructure problem that Minnesota probably has that they now depend on Lyft and Uber. So I'm going to give this a 9.
a 9 for Ari for badness.
It's pretty bad. I have to give it a 10.
A 10. Well, this game seems okay. This game seems a little too easy for Jesse.
Yes.
Jesse is like everything is bad. I can just pick any headline and it's bad. In fact, my guess is when I get to the good headlines, you're also going to think they're all 10s for
Nah,
badness.
I'm more discerning with the good ones.
Yeah,
The
we
bad-
have
everything just seems bad.
We have a better spread with the good.
Yeah.
Wow. This is more
seems-
this.
seems
Is this
sucky. You
is
don't
this
even have to
just
sell it
as
to me.
bad as the AI chatbots for
Ooh,
eating disorder? Because
answer.
it wasn't for me.
That's
You know what?
not discerning.
No, but I'm still giving it a 10.
Yeah, there we go. Everything's 10.
I will use that framework next time.
Okay, here we go. Using that new framework. Texas, a clean energy pioneer, turns against renewables. There's a great quote in this article. A few miles east of Fuller, a grandson of oil mogul T. Boone Pickens. T. Boone Pickens was a billionaire oil mogul who switched to wind. In the end of his life, before he died, he was a huge proponent of wind and renewables. He tried to use all of his the land that he
Okay.
bought to put wind farms on.
Cool.
His
T-Bone? His name is
grandson
T-Bone.
T. Dot Boone Pickens. Everyone.
T-Bone.
T-Bone
I was
Pickens.
gonna say, good for you,
Um,
T-Bone.
His grandson is leading the fight against NG's project, which is a solar project near his mother's property. He says he opposes the project because of concerns that include its large size, the removal of trees, soil erosion, and potential changes to water drainage. So
What an asshole.
that's correct. If you're thinking the grandson of a billionaire who only is quoted because of the oil billions he
Yeah.
has, is worried about the environmental
Yeah.
impact of renewables on his mother's property.
He was probably discussing this in his private jet. Like,
He gave them
You
quote
know that.
from his private
Right.
jet.
When you
Right.
said private, I didn't know if we were going private parts. I didn't know what we were going with, like private property, where we could go.
I like to imagine him on his private jet.
yeah,
It's
and you
very-
know he just wears a robe because he thinks he can.
The picture was of him wearing cargo, like army cargo pants.
No.
And like a button down,
Oh,
but like one of those like rough denim-y button downs.
Just on the picture alone, this is a bad story.
Can you please retell us the headline? Can you
Texas.
restate the headline?
It was that long. Texas, a clean energy pioneer, turns against
Clean
renewables.
energy pioneer. I
Yeah,
can't handle that
yeah,
part either.
either.
Okay, I'm gonna give this an 8
An 8 for Ari.
because it actually sucks that there's a little bit of truth about green energy pioneering here, because all the companies are just gonna go, do their thing in Texas.
So which part is bad then? That they've gone against the renewables, or that they were the pioneer in the first place?
This is hurting my head, this game. I'm so
Both.
confused.
What's your score?
My score is, did you give it an 8?
Yeah, I give it an 8.
Oh, my score is an 8 because it's
Because you're copying Ari and you have no original thoughts.
because my
Got
head
it.
hurts. No,
Okay. No original thoughts. That's fine. You gave it an 8 also. Okay. 2 more on the
Not too
bad.
good. Oh,
2 more on the bad.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
God.
First, this headline: How Shredded Zuck Celebrated Memorial Day.
Is he ripped?
So he
Is he?
Yeah, he's ripped. now.
He's like scrawny. It's not hard to get ripped when you're scrawny.
I need to see a photo.
There's no photo
God, Ari,
available.
don't
He was
gush
not.
over Zuck,
I'm not
please.
gushing.
Not on our airwaves.
So he said, here's a quote from him. I try to do. He posted this on Instagram, which owned by Mark Zuckerberg.
Yep.
I try to do the Murph challenge with the girls, his kids, every Memorial Day as a tradition to honor those who defended us. If you can avoid vomiting a little bit in your mouth. One of Lieutenant Murphy's favorite workouts was running a mile, then doing 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and then run another mile, all while wearing a 20-pound weighted pack. So there's a picture of him wearing a 20-pound weighted pack. There was no mention in the article of Zuckerberg being a
stats.
fake public dictator whose platforms are directly linked to body dysmorphia.
Wow.
No links, no
You know,
mention
he
of that.
totally paid for this. He totally paid for this. So I'm going to give this a 10.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is
This
Can you
isn't
read the headline
equal.
again, please?
this, how Shredded Zuck celebrated Memorial Day. So this is equal to a chatbot replacing
Yes.
workers at the National
Yep.
Eating Disorder
This
Association.
is propaganda for our
Wow.
current dictator.
10
This
and
is a bad headline. I hate it. I literally
What is
went-
this a Business Insider story?
Yes, it is Business
Oh.
Insider. Correct. That is good work. And if I
wrong
could
with
find any sound effect fast enough, I would have played the listening to the audience. All right, this is the best version of this game I've ever played.
This confuses
Is it because
me.
Damien's not here?
It's also
Just kidding.
wow, zing!
We
But
miss
it's the
you.
only game version of this game I've ever played. So, final bad game headline. You ready?
Yep.
McDonald's and Chick-fil-A are tracking your location to make sure your fries are perfectly crispy when you arrive.
0.
Wait, that's
Yes, thank you. Nothing like soggy fries to ruin your day.
wow.
Okay.
Track me. Chip me.
If you're gonna go there and you want good fries, like whatever, I'm gonna give this like a 5 because like I
This
do
is a
not
neutral.
believe- I do not believe that
Totally
they're not using it
unexpected.
for something else. But like if they're only using it for this purpose, then whatever. Like have your happy customers eating their. I like
I'm
the
gonna-
French fry. I'm
gonna be honest. This is totally flabbergasting to me that you are how quickly you're willing to give up your
Oh,
privacy
if Damien
for a
were
crispy
here,
French
he
fry.
would
I'm not
fire me
going
on the
there, so
spot.
that's why it's a 5 to me. It's like whatever. I'm not
It's a
using their
crispy
app.
French fry.
So good.
In the
But
what you trade is
Yes.
your whereabouts at all times
Here's my phone.
for a fry that is slightly crispier.
I do
A-
love
a-
a good French
the-
fry.
A fry from McDonald's,
McDonald's
and
only.
Chick-fil-A.
No.
I
Chick-fil-A
don't
can't
go
have
there,
my.
So this is a 5 for me.
Chick-fil-A would notice that I don't go to church, and then they would stop selling me things.
All right. Well,
Wouldn't
that
that
is
be because
probably
they
true.
like upsold people that don't go to church on Sundays?
Huh.
They look at everyone's data. on
Dynamic
Sundays.
pricing.
They-
Yeah,
and
it's
they
like
can
airlines.
because you are so obsessed with the crispiness of your fries, you allowed them to
Yep.
track you.
I used to go to
Congratulations.
Whendy's
Whatever.
for spicy
They
chicken
have
nuggets,
own analysts.
and then McDonald's for fries.
This should have been a 10 for McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. Period. You didn't need any other information. You didn't know they didn't have to
On to
do
the good
anything. It should have
headlines
just.
now.
All right. Let's wrap up here.
McDonald's is great.
Jesse comes in on the bad game at an 8.8. It
Yeah,
is
everything's
very
bad.
easy to trigger
Uh-huh.
Jesse. And the only
Everything's bad.
reason why it's an 8.8 and instead of like a 9.5 is because
Is the neutral.
is because of a neutral French fry hot take.
Yeah.
Ari, on the other hand, is
Uh-huh.
a 6.5.
All right.
Ari thinks every headline is you're an optimist. Every headline's better than
This
it should
is
be.
on the negative side. So
All right. So let's be done with the bad game and let's instead play the good game.
Section, I probably would have given it a 0.
Yeah, see?
There would've been a
Oh,
bigger
bias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the first headline in the good game. State Farm will no longer offer new home insurance policies in California over wildfire concerns. They are pricing in terrible climate
I
change.
saw this and I read it to my in-laws at the dinner table, and I was so excited about this. 10.
French-
All of California.
Wow.
Insane.
French fries and
Insurance companies
Insurance
pulling
climate
out.
change.
Only
That's-
way. Only way.
So they're refusing.
Oh, and they're the largest homeowner insurer in that state.
That's pretty cool. 9.
wow, 9. We love people without home insurance.
No,
we
we
love
lo-
that
we
there
love
are
companies
houses
taking a
burned
stand.
down and they can't afford to rebuild them
I
anymore.
do wonder, like, if they all pulled out, how would they?
I just want
I
to
don't know. Let's ask Florida.
I'm looking at you listeners. It's on the record that both Ari and Jesse are pro homelessness.
Let's bring them some
You're
tents.
twisting our words.
That's what I do here. The next up on the good game. Is this headline good? Tesla instructed employees to only communicate verbally about complaints, so there was no written record. Now, here's why I included this. A Tesla whistleblower has leaked thousands, 100 gigabytes of internal documents to a German newspaper. The leak includes not only Elon Musk's social security number,
Ooh.
but employee and customer data, as well as thousands of complaints involving Teslas accelerating on their own, crash reports, allegations of emergency braking caused by faulty collision warnings, and this nugget that said, quote, do not copy and paste the report below into an email, text message, or leave it in a voicemail to a customer. They are literally talking about don't copy and paste anything. We don't want anyone to have any record of it in the records
Oh
that
my
we have.
God.
That's why I picked
This is
headline.
amazing. This is great.
So the headline is that it's leaked, or the headline is
The headline is amongst many things, but they found that Tesla was telling their employees only to communicate verbally about complaints so that there was no record.
Headline.
I think this is great.
But you know it. You didn't know it before.
Yeah,
I thought this would be
but
good
aren't
because-
we just rating it on the headline?
Oh,
The
I
headline
mean, look,
sucks.
if you want to be like a religious
4.
zealot about it, okay, fine. Jesse's a 4
God,
because
I just
she
I
love
like the
this.
second part of this that you explained.
because
but the
she read
headline-
Exodus and she believes every word of
hey,
it.
you know, when I've played this game before and I actually read the articles, I get in trouble for that. Now I'm doing it based on the actual rules,
There's
and
no-
I'm a zealot. Okay.
What you found out was there's no rules to
Are there-
these games.
There's no winning for me.
Yeah,
is what I'm
not-
finding.
not
Are there
for-
going to
yeah.
be like a
That's
slew of articles of what else is in this trove of leaked stuff?
So I think Tesla is actively pursuing the no
This German
leakage.
newspaper
Yeah,
thing?
they're going after the newspaper, but it's out now. So and it was a whistleblower who did it. So
Nice.
the likelihood that we find out more and more over the coming weeks is really
Ah.
high.
Oh, 10.
10 from Ari. That's what I expected.
love
Ari's going to be
whistleblowers.
straight 10s. All right,
I hate it.
here's a weird one. all right?
Okay.
But Ari's almost a guaranteed 10. Jesse, because food's involved that she might eat,
Oh.
is likely to be a 10. Okay. A pizza company is letting customers buy now and pay when they're dead.
What?
They are making fun of or getting at the issues of buy now, pay later.
Layaway? Yeah.
So they created the company is in New Zealand. They're called Hell Pizza, and they're selling something called Afterlife Pay, which will run a trial for 666 people, 666 people. And they're using this because they saw a growing number of people using buy now, pay later schemes to buy essential items like food. They think it's gone too far. So they are basically making a joke that people are using buy now, pay later for something like pizza.
I
It's
love
a good
this.
joke about a bad thing.
I love this.
However,
I love this.
The article also says it is a binding contract.
Oh
that
my
they've created,
gosh.
so they will have to pay for the pizza. Their estate would have to pay for the pizza
All right.
if they exist when people die.
You know, this is
Could
giving.
you imagine?
This
This
is-
is what I'm picturing. You have a family. You know how sometimes family feuds happen from like estate stuff?
Of course.
But like all of the money goes to the pizza, and then these siblings are like pissed off because they don't have any money.
I mean, I don't know what the interest rates are on this, but you could.
10.
This is you could
This is
you
a
could
viable
you could do
business.
this for life, right? Like this is like so one of these people
You
are
could
going to
be
get food
19
for
doing
life.
it.
They can eat pizza every single day, rack up bills of tens of thousands of dollars, and then have to pay for it through the estate after they're dead
This is.
because of the obesity from all the fucking
Ugh.
pizza you ate.
I mean, they are in New Zealand, so maybe they won't eat as much pizza. I don't know.
Have we considered using this angle for board sabermetrics?
Okay, you automatically get tens for that idea. That is 100% the best idea I've ever heard. Board sabermetrics. Everyone, buy board sabermetrics, pay when you're dead. This is not a binding contract. What are your scores here?
I'm gonna give this an 8 just for.
And
Eight
humor
and a
is great.
10. I knew food that Jesse likes to eat might be the way to get
well,
a 10.
and I just love. I mean, we've covered the buy now, pay later. It's
Yeah.
been in my exhaustingness.
Right.
So I
Yes.
love that someone is like bringing some sarcasm and humor into it.
You heard it here first. Everyone wishes you were dead, fat people. Okay. Next up. Then,
Not exactly.
Next
what I
up.
said.
this one, I'm not sure how this is going to go. Chinese women mock greasy middle-aged men in new viral trend. So this is there's a Chinese social network called Bilibili, and women have been
What?
doing
There's
in-depth.
a new social network thing.
Well, it's not so new. There are 326 million users in
Oh, wow.
China.
Oh my
it's a video
God.
social share app. And Chinese women have been doing in-depth tutorials on how to mimic the stereotypical, quote, greasy man.
Do you have a visual for us?
I don't know what the greasy man looks like, but it's effectively like the
I
cat
imagine.
calling, whistling
Yeah.
kind of
Mm.
dudes. And they're doing here is some of the a tutorial, quote, first raise your eyebrows, keep your eyes half closed and brows frowned, and then shake your head while biting your tongue or whistle. That is, and they are using this.
Ari's giving us the visual.
That's one of the grosser things you've ever done.
This sounds gross.
Proving the point that
Proving the point
these men are gross.
and bringing awareness to like gross, greasy male behavior. Apparently,
It's
Okay.
awesome. 10 for me.
10 for Ari. Wow, or Jesse.
I like what they're doing, but the fact that there's a social media, the fact that it's a social media viral thing that I didn't even know existed. Another one. I'm gonna give this
Ari's
a.
mad at social
5.
media, so she's
A
not.
5. Well, isn't this social
Neutral.
media for good? Isn't this like we're mocking?
I'm sure this is the only good thing on it.
It's probably like being monitored by
And
the
they're
state.
exactly. So
Yeah.
these women are just. That's it. They're done.
All
Good
right.
luck.
We have 2 left, and I actually think these are probably 10s from both of you.
Okay.
Okay.
High expectations.
First up, the North Face doubles down on a Summer of Pride campaign amid backlash from right-wingers.
Nice.
Cool.
The North Face
10.
effectively did the same thing that Bud Light did, only actually not one can. They actually have a whole campaign around it.
And
with
they
a
didn't fire anyone.
with a drag performer named Patty Gonia.
Nice. Oh, cool. That's funny.
And it's the Summer of Pride. This is the second year they've done it. And conservatives obviously have now put the North Face because there's a trans person anywhere near it. And in fact, Marjorie Taylor Greene accused them of grooming.
You know what? They can't even afford it anyway, so this is not like Bud Light.
Oh wow, that's harsh. But the reason why I thought this was great was conservatives were triggered by it, But North Face, aren't they trolling Patagonia
Yeah.
by
With
using a
Patagonia.
drag
Yes.
performer named Patagonia?
That's
Yeah.
funny.
They're actually trolling their competitor, and it was conservatives who got trolled.
10. This is a
I
10.
like the feud between multiple parties here.
Are we gonna with 2 10s?
Yep.
2 10s. Wow, I was absolutely right.
The only way it's better is if the North Face said, we're giving our company away to the environment. That's it.
That's not gonna happen though.
What will happen with Patagonia?
It won't happen again.
It will happen again in our lifetime. Predictions. I'll save it for tomorrow.
Here is your final headline, though, and then we can finally wrap up this 6-hour game. It's only been 25 minutes. It feels like we've been here for 6 hours. Norway's oil fund sides with climate activists against ExxonMobil and Chevron. Norway's $1.4 trillion oil fund, which is a state-run fund that derived its assets from oil,
This is so complex.
is backing shareholder proposals at Exxon and Chevron to cut greenhouse gas emissions. And they actually own, on average, 1.5% of every company globally. So this is a big deal. They're a massive investor. When responding to charges of hypocrisy, their effective answer, and they didn't say this, but I read between the lines of what they were saying, was, is it better if we vote against it, you assholes? And when you think of it that way, they basically said, where we take all these things as they come, and we've considered it, and we think this is best for the planet. We know, the situation and that kind of thing.
They make a point through your in between the lines.
That they do make a point.
God, yeah. I mean,
You were just there, so you can go first.
Well,
Ooh,
I
yeah,
was
Jessie.
like, I can't rate this a 10 because I don't want to give them a 10 because they're hypocrites, but that's a pretty decent response. So I'm going to give this an 8.
A gentle 8. I thought it would be a 10. Ari?
This is reversing stupidity.
Oh, wow. Using my own logic against them.
So,
A 5 and an 8. But that's it for the good game. We made it to the end.
Sounds Damien.
Are you ready for here? Let's give us some outro music whilst scores. The final scores for the good game. Well, this is the good part of the good game. We already did the bad game. The final scores for the good game are Ari came in at an 8.0.
Oh, that's pretty high.
So Ari, a little confused today. Nothing. No, actually, that's high. 6.5 and 8.0. You basically said, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I ran here. I'm quite tired, but feeling good.
Uphill both ways.
Jesse is totally all over the map with an 8.5. Good work. Both good and bad. An 8.8 and 8.5. That's it. For business fans, that was a good game. There's no Damien Morales. But Damien will be back tomorrow for our Friday wrap-up. Go buy Board Saver Metrics if you're bored. You can pay for it when you're dead.
Put down layaway.
There you go. You have to pay for it now because we're doing things. Until tomorrow.
We'll order pizza from you.
We need perfect crispy french fries.
Until tomorrow. Goodbye.